Welcome back to the Cricket Matters podcast. We are talking about lessons learned from teaching in Serbia because James has just come back from a couple of days in Belgrade when you eventually got there after having fires at Heathrow and then having to come all the way back to Cardiff, fly via Amsterdam, and eventually you got to Belgrade, didn't you?
Don't forget my night in Amsterdam as well, because the plane.
Night in Amsterdam, yeah. You didn't go anywhere dodgy, did you, in Amsterdam?
Nope, just the airport hotel. That was literally it. It was incredible. What planes, trains, and automobiles to the max. And it all started so well because on the Thursday I went down to the Keighley workshop and factory to get a new cricket bat, get some new pads, and everything was nice and relaxed and chilled. And then suddenly woke up to the apocalypse at Heathrow Airport in the morning. And what went from a nice, pleasant journey to Belgrade turned up into a...
Because you had to drive all the way back to Cardiff.
Via Amsterdam. But I got there just in time to present. That was the main thing. Literally got there just in time to present. So, but yeah, no, but it's lessons learned. I'm fresh off a plane now, actually. I managed to get our Monday morning meeting in, literally 5 to 11. I got in time and then straight onto the podcast now. And this is lessons learned.
Yeah, tell us all about it. What were the best bits of the conference?
The food. The people.
Yeah.
Definitely the food and the people. Serbians are collectively some of the biggest people on the planet, like the Dutch. If you see on my Instagram, there's a picture of me next to a guy who's 7'2". That's 217 centimetres, I believe, for people.
His feet are massive as well.
Yeah, ex-professional basketball player, legend of the game, and yeah, really nice guy. But he is massive. I look like a tiny person. Next to it. No, it was really good.
I'm not in that photo. That would have been even more funny.
Well, no, it was really good. It's like the Serbians are unique. They're very passionate. They love their food. They love to party. They love their training because they're passionate about sports. I'd highly recommend anybody going to the what's the name of the Serbian basketball team? Belgrade? No, what's the term of the football team? Red Star Belgrade basketball team. It is, the stadiums are packed, like they're overpacked, and they're jumping like crazy. It is incredible. It is such an atmosphere to see it here now. But they're passionate about sport and they're passionate about training. So it's a good place to go and teach. But what I love teaching out there is meeting all the other presenters, and I get to sit and learn and apply stuff. And I met some people I've never met before. People from baseball, the world of professional baseball, which was very unexpected. And also people who work with triple jumpers at the highest level. And what I like about that is because I would argue that the triple jump is some of the most explosive athletes on the planet. Absolutely. Like, particularly to recycle energy, something that cricketers have to do.
Of energy, if you ever did triple jump in school, you sort of like, boom. So the first jump might go well, but it's that recycling second and third jump. You just...
It is. It was incredible. Well, anyway, so Luis from Portugal, he spent a lot of time out in China with the Olympic team. He's worked at the highest levels of football. He's working with some incredible triple jumpers at the moment. And yeah, the first thing I've learned is the importance of eccentric training. Okay, now for those who don't know what eccentric training is, it's the down phase, essentially. So if you're going, imagine... it's the stopping phase. I think that's... Would you say, Josh, that's the best way to explain it? It's the stopping, is like going down, like literally going down slowly.
It's the lowering. So if you're doing a squat, it's the bit where you go from the top to the bottom. That's the
exactly.
easiest way.
My brain fog this morning from the plane at 3:30 in the morning. It's like I couldn't explain that properly, but it is. So everyone thinks about the concentric, which is the going up, like the pushing up from the ground, which is important too because you've got to get back up from a squat. However, what they've learned is the best athletes are better on the eccentric version, the going down section. So he shared some great, wonderful insights on some of the squat progressions they're doing and how they're slowing tempo right down to go down and a big pause at the bottom before coming back up. And he also showed me this new hybrid version of super fast and super fast down, super fast up, which is one of the best methods for a highly conditioned athlete. So that was pretty cool. And some of the plyometric variations. So that was a big takeaway, along with deceleration training. And his argument is that the best athletes he works with, it's not about how fast you go in a straight line, it's how fast you can brake. And it's the ones that can change direction. And if you can improve the brakes of the athletes, then you're going to change the ability to recycle energy and stop. And they're the game changers, essentially.
Physics, isn't it? I was just thinking about like the Formula One started this weekend. Think how well they can brake Formula One cars.
Yep.
and then get going again. That's what we're talking about, aren't we? Amazing deceleration.
Well, exactly. And you have the two cars. So you say you've got two cars driving at 200 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
The car with the best brakes will win because that 200 mile an hour can go faster for longer and brake quicker.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a really good analogy to think about. And that's what we want with cricketers. We want them to get to the stage where they can recycle energy quickly, they can bounce, they can jump, because the fastest athletes can always jump, right? The furthest. And it's like just learning from that. And it ties into when I worked with some of the stuff with Ken Miller, who we're going to get onto the podcast very soon, because he's worked with some of the top baseball pitching coaches out there. And I had a good chance to pick his brain about a number of things. So if you guys want to Google Tom House, he's really famous in the world of baseball pitching. And he he was mentored by Tom. And he was talking about plyometrics for baseball athletes and how it's got to be change direction, basically moving back and forth. There's really loads of good ideas to help work with our ladies that we're working with and try and develop them. So it's not about doing the most advanced plyometrics, it's about getting people ready to do plyometrics at the baseline level. So that was really good from Ken. And that was really good from Marty Miller, who I went to his, I can't remember the name of the talk, but it was about cognitive performance. And he said one of the most important things he sees with and works with athletes is the ability to switch on during their workout, to be in tune with their body. A lot of people go into the gym, they put music on. And I do. I have done for a lot of time. But he says some of the best performers, they know they're just switched on and focused for that training session, that training hour. And they're not like aimlessly going around. So now there's time for music in like certain aspects of it. But sometimes just to deconnect and actually focus on the training plan. It's like, well, how deep are you squatting? How low are you squatting? How heavy is the bar? How is your body feeling? Just stay in tune with the body, because most people aren't in tune with their body to be able to know what's going on properly. And that was just a kind of key takeaway. Just like loads of theories and random stuff coming out now. But
because that's something I've never done, whether it going to the gym or for a run or whatever. I never listen to music ever. I just always talk to my random chats with myself, but I just can't do it. And the whole like watching YouTube in the gym while you're training, I don't get that at all. So that's always been something that I've done, but people find it boring, don't they, if they don't have some sort of music or something? I
listen to podcasts. I listen to mostly to drown out the noise around me from a lot of people, if I'm being honest. But it's right, you can go by 4 or 5 songs, a half an hour podcast, and you just realise, oh, well, where's the workout gone? And it's like, oh, that's a good point, actually. And I tried it out the following day. I was like, because obviously there's lots of other sprinting stuff we're playing around with at the moment as well, which we'll share for another podcast. But I stayed in tune with my body, trying this stuff out the following day, and I felt great for it, actually. Because I was aware. I was like spending more time thinking about my form and how the sounds are. I could hear the sounds in my feet, because I was doing a variation of A-skips. And I could hear more of a pop off the ground, which I wouldn't be able to hear if I had my headphones on. So it was really good. But no, it's not just learning side of things. We'll get Ken, we'll get Louis on as well to speak to us on the podcast to share their learnings with us and go more in depth.
Yeah, definitely want to know more about the eccentric work as well. It's part of the whole triphasic training, isn't it? With you sort of taking it to another level by the sounds of it.
Yep, it really was. It really is. And it's, like I said, what we want to do is speak to the people who are working at the very highest levels. And I think every athlete from any sport can learn so much from the track and field, because they are the most expressive athletes on the planet in terms of this, and there's no hiding. You can either do it or you can't. You have to get into that realm of high level performance, and it's interesting to see what they're doing, so we can then reverse engineer how we can do it for ourselves. So that was good. And obviously, again, presenting, it was showcasing our system of training and how we assess.
Yeah, how did your talk go, James?
Hey, do you know what? It was very well packed. In fact, Ken said to me, "Hey James, I don't know many people in my lecture," because we spoke at the same time at the end of the day on Sunday.
You stole Ken's people.
And I stole everybody to come to mine. It was really nice though. It was like the second time speaking out in Serbia, Belgrade. Fantastic hosts, amazing time. But it was nice to share our system, and we shared our 2-part squeeze when we assess online. And that's what people wanted to see, is like how we work with rotational athletes, because that's what a cricketer is. It's a rotational athlete. So we shared our 4-part squeeze at the front, and then we shared our back end of how we assess people before they come to us and how we can implement an impact technique. So I enjoy it. It's always good. I had the tallest man ever in the world come to a presentation, who's 7'2". He's a former basketball player, and he eats this a small human being.
The world.
every day. So he was good. Shout out to Vladimir if he's listening in at any time. I think he wants to give fast bowling a go as well. But so imagine that coming down from that height. It's 7'2".
Jeez, he'd get some bounce into the pitch there, wouldn't he? Blimey heck.
Yeah. He was talking about actually. That was a great conversation with him. He talked about pressure and athletes feeling pressure, and he talked about because unfortunately he didn't quite make it in the NBA, but he played at the highest levels. He represented his country. He played at the highest levels in Europe for a long, long time. Multiple clubs from Russia to Spain to France to Serbia. And he was talking about it. He goes, as an athlete, as a basketball athlete, people talk about the pressure sometimes. And he goes, nothing teaches you pressure more than actually the basketball here in Serbia. And you have to watch the Serbian basketball games about how crazy the crowds go to understand what pressure is. And anything after that, it doesn't matter. And he goes, that was his tip, because I didn't care about any other game. The hardest games, the only pressure games were the ones in Serbia where the crowds are absolutely bouncing. And I was like, oh, cool, that's a great conversation. There you go.
Awesome. There we go. And that is James's fun weekend in Serbia. And some lessons learned as well.
Exactly.
That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train. And remember, our goal is to make you a better cricketer.